Good morning, good people. All of my friends are here. Let's get this party started. It's me, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. We're going to start this with a quick show introduction. Then we're going to run show intro. It's me. I'm your host, Keyshawn Robinson. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay. I can dig it. I'm your host. All right, let's settle it down. Everybody be seated. I'm your host, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. You know my slogan, don't call me a realtor without calling me rich. You now tuned in to the Rich Realtor Show. All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome everybody. You're all welcome. Let's get this show intro started and let's bring in the show the right way. Okay. All right. Yeah. You now tuned in to the Rich Realtor Show. This is show episode number 6. I'm your host, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. Please don't call me a realtor without calling me rich. You know, wherever you at right now, I just want you to close your eyes. I just want you to picture yourself in your new home. I want you to picture yourself laying in your new bed, in your new home. I want you to picture yourself backing out your garage, in your new home, in your foreign whip, in whatever car you drive. Picture yourself backing out your garage, pulling onto your street, waving to your neighbors. As you pull off, headed to go handle your business. That's right, people. That's what I'm here to help you to do. It's me, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. Thank you, respectfully. This thing that we do here, it's to help everybody. We leaving no man behind. It's Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. I said we leaving no man behind. Everybody gets to come along in this trip. The only thing that we need you to do is your part. Whatever that includes, it's just your part. You do your part, I promise you I'm gonna do mine, baby. It's the Rich Realtor Show. Last show was about motivation. This all here is from me to you. Ask me how much I get paid. Ask me how much they pay me to do these shows. I'm doing this show for you. All I need is one person. All I need is 2 people. 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 4. You know, you do the math. The math keeps mathing. It's Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. Gotta beat that into your head. Thanks everyone for tuning in. DJ, run that track back. Y'all thought it was over? No, it's not. All right. Now we got the intro out the way. Welcome, everyone. Of course, you know where you are. And if you don't know, you found yourself at the Rich Realtor Show. I'm your host, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. And today we're going to talk about help. I think we don't acknowledge the people that got us where we are today. And that doesn't mean that we all don't or nobody does. But maybe we need to start acknowledging more. So let's start with myself. I started my house journey, real estate journey, back in 2015. Back in 2015 was when I actually bought my first house. Um, Later that year, my house, I had the house, and I had a little, I had some money put to the side, right? So a friend of mine had came and presented an opportunity. Within that opportunity, ended up resulting in me purchasing my first multifamily apartment building. It was a 3 unit, all one bed, one bath. I believe was it two tenants? It wasn't full. Maybe it may have been filled already. Pretty much like the gist of it was we had kind of had like a third party person who owned the building, and the previous landlord, he was so he owned the okay, so there's a third party person that owned the building. Then he in turn had owner finance the building to another investor. So if you don't know what owner financing is, that means that you are the owner of said property, and there is no bank. You are the bank. So you know how you guys can go out and talk to a mortgage lender and try to get finance for a property. Well, in this case, this would be like going to your neighbor's home. Let's just say your neighbors own their home. You go into your neighbor's house, you know that they owned it, and you say, "Hey, listen, I'd like to buy your house." And they say, "Sure. Well, I was just about to move out anyway. I just bought another house at another place, and um, we can work out a deal." And you say, "Okay, well, uh, maybe we can work out some type of creative financing where we do owner financing, seller financing." So, and they say, "Yeah. So how about you give me X amount of dollars down, because they already own it, remember. So they don't owe any mortgage. There's no third party. There's no banks. They say, you give me X amount of dollars down, and I will in turn finance you the rest of the cost of the house. You'll break that down by whatever percentage rate that he charged you, and uh, you'll pay the rest of it out in the mortgage monthly for X amount of years." So there is no bank. He's the bank. So that's a description of owner financing, right? So we had the owner, and he financed it to another investor. The investor wasn't properly taking care of it, or he wasn't paying the guy. So he in turn was taking back possession of the property, and then he was selling it to me and my partner, because we went in half on it, right? So that's where we that was my introduction into uh, this whole real estate thing, if you will. So I bought my first house, and then I turned around and I bought it's like we kind of just stumbled into it. We bought a the multifamily building. But Let me rewind back just a little bit because I left out one part. So I did say that I had a little money set to the side. So after I bought my house, even before I bought my house, I was kind of looking into something to kind of delve into, trying to figure out like, we got a little bit of change and I want to put this money into something where it could uh, uh, it could work for me in the future, right? So he had introduced to me um, wholesaling, and I didn't know anything about wholesaling whatsoever. So we went through the whole motions of going out, I'm getting a phone, I'm getting numbers, I'm cold calling people uh, based on the ARV of the house. ARV stand up for after repair value. Remember these, so you want to get your lingo up. ARV would be after repair value, meaning the value of the home after it's repaired. So you have value of the home as is, and then you have a value of a home that it would be worth after it's repaired. ARV. So um, we were doing that, and he was teaching me how to wholesale. So we got like list of people to call and mail, and what I would do is pretty much mail out to people um, who had equity in their home, and they may want to sell it, or it could just be a absentee owner. Out of state absentee owner means an owner who owns a home, but they live outside of what said state. So if you're in Maryland, you own a home in Maryland, but you live in Pennsylvania, you would be an absentee owner. So anyway, so we were doing that, and I was getting calls like I was kind of like in emotion. People calling me back, they were interested, and I'm not even gonna take you through the whole thing about like wholesaling. That's like a whole nother topic. And in turn of like while we were doing it, the wholesaling, this opportunity had came up with the house, and he bought it to me, and I was like, um, dang, I was like, I mean, feel like, uh, he must feel like, he must trust me in some type of way to where as though he was willing to go in business with me. Granted, we knew each other and everything. You know what I mean? We were working at the same job at that time, and he, so that's how the relationship actually first initially started. And then, as time come on, he had helped me when I had bought my first home. He, kind of sent me some people, gave me a lender and all that stuff. So I ended up getting my first home, and then, you know, I had doubled back one day, and we were talking about investing, and then that's when the wholesaling thing came up. So after that had came up, we did that, and we had ended up getting an opportunity with this apartment building. So this apartment building was in Baltimore, and we put down. Damn, how much did we put down? I want to say it was like 10,000, I believe. So this was in Baltimore, and of course, at this time in Baltimore, I mean, everything was super duper cheap, right? So we ended up getting an apartment building. I think we put 10,000 down, and the building was only making, sheesh, what was it making? I want to say like 2,100. It was only making 2,100 because the the rental rates were only like, I want to say like 600. It's like 600, in between 600 and 650. None of them was 700 over seven, was 700 or over. So, and there was only 3 units. So we got the building, and we went through our ups and downs with the building. Taught us a lot, me a lot, anyway, about maintaining. Um, it's not just you get a building, you get a place, a home, and people live there, and they just pay you, and you just keep the money, and that's it. No, it's a lot more than that. You got building upkeep. You have you have the maintenance. You have codes and regulations that you have to follow. You have water bills. So that taught me a lot. It really did. And that was my introduction into real estate. Before I became an agent, I mean, before all of that, that was like my first introduction into real estate. And his name, well, I'll give you his nickname. Call him Jay Rich, right? So I will say this: without him, maybe I would have gotten the real estate, but probably not. So let's thank and acknowledge him. Thank you, Jay Rich. I really appreciate that. He taught me a lot uh, as far as why this whole real estate thing goes. Um, and he was still learning. He had a mentor, and in turn, he mentored me. Now, again, I had to do my part. And first of all, none of this was for free. Before he before he like actually even mentored me, we had a quick consultation, if you will, and he told me that he would charge me $1,000 to teach me how to wholesale. And at that time, again, remember, I was looking for something to put my money in, so I was willing to learn. I had to, in turn, trust him because he could have just gave me. I mean, he could have just took the money and ran. That's people do that all the time. That's always an option for some people. That's like a scam, if you will. So, um, again, that was my introduction to real estate, and thank you, Jay Rich. I appreciate so, some of the things that we went and had our what I want to say, like we had a we went and had and developed a relationship, and it was all through real estate for the most part. Of course, he worked at my job and stuff. So that's where it really first came. But we were cool and stuff like that. But I never had his number and stuff at my job. It actually got his number, and we exchanged information from um, through real estate, and that's when how that happened. How we really first had exchanged numbers was we had I think I was at Cameron's one day, Cameron's, however you want to pronounce it, and we had saw each other, and I think we were talking about because he had got his house the year before, and I think this was 2012 or 13. I think it was 2012, 12 or 13. Anyway, so he had just like got his house, and I was like, damn, you know what? Because we was talking about it and at work, and I was letting them know that I wanted to get a house, and then we had saw each other at the cameras, and then we exchanged information. That's when he gave me a mortgage lender, and I went to her, and I didn't initially get approved. My credit score was under 620 at that point, and I had to do some work. Again, remember, guys, like I try to make sure I make everything as upfront as possible. For the most part, most people, you're not gonna get approved on your first time. But what a good lender would do is tell you what your credit score is, tell you where it's at, and they will tell you, hey, this is what you need to pay. I need you to pay this down. I need you to pay that down. And I need you to get this, like try to get it all of removed from your credit if possible or whatever. So that was my initial uh introduction to real estate, and I got in and I had to do the work myself. I ended up getting approved. Now, I'll give you like the roller coaster because I want to make sure you guys get the real. I ended up getting approved in 2015. Now, I don't want to mix my years up because I said 2012, but I want to say it was 2 years later that I got approved. So let's just go with 2013. So 2013 was when I first initially applied. I did the work. And remember, there is no time limit on doing the work. As long as you're doing the work, that's what counts the most. You just need to know that the work is getting done. You cannot just be sitting idle. In my last show, I was saying, you maybe you saving 500 a month, maybe you saving 1,000 a month, maybe you only can do 200 or 250, but each month you should be, when you get your homework, let's call it your homework from the lender, you should be taking that money and you should be, whatever that you have, you should be paying down what they're asking you to pay down. Period. That's what doing the work is. You also should be have some type of savings. So let's say 1 year you take out to pay down things that you need to pay down if it takes you that long, and then the next year you spend saving. Remember, again, 2 years. It took me 2 years. From 2013, I didn't get approved until 2015. Once I got approved, it was like it was smooth selling for the most part because the work had been done before. I didn't have to do anything. Once I got approved, all the stuff that I needed to pay down was paid down and stayed down and laid down. It was done. I wasn't going out to buy a new car, knowing that that would affect my debt to income ratio. You can't do that. If you're trying to get something, you can't, trying to get a house, you cannot go out in the middle of you trying to get a house and buy a car or buy anything for that matter. You shouldn't be opening up any new credit lines or anything. Remember what the goal is. The goal is to get a house. Cars come a dime a dozen. Houses, it's a 30-year commitment for the most part. So that was my introduction. Again, it took me 2 years. Other people, it might not take you that long. Other people, you may already be ready, or you may be halfway there, and it may only take you 3 months. But however long it takes you, you must remember that it's not about the length of time, it's about you doing the work. So again, thank you, Jay Rich. I really appreciate you helping me at the start of my real estate journey. It taught me a lot. We shared that property. That was like one of my biggest lessons. I got to like learn on the job as we went. And I'll tell you another thing, because the type of guy that I am, I move fast. Like, I move fast. When I'm moving, my mind is working. It's working. It's working. It's working. It's working like, how can I told, once I get one, I'm trying to get two. Once I get two, I'm trying to get four. Period. And until I'm until I'm burnt out, right? So I had did my own research. I met my own people. I ended up buying my next house in Baltimore for he it was super cheap. It was He was trying to sell it for, like, I think it was 14, 14 or whatever, 14, 15,000. Yes, that low. A whole house, 900 something square foot house, home. I ended up talking them down to 12.5 for my first home for 12.5. That was 2016. The next year, I moved fast, people. So, um, when I got my first home, I had put a little bit of money into it, not much, uh, like paint. I didn't even, it was so early on. I was rushing, to be honest, because I was giddy. I was happy. I was really proud too. Like, wow, I did it. Now, this is in Baltimore too, and if you know anything about Baltimore, like I know Baltimore, everything is block to block. So I wasn't that far from a meth clinic. I didn't know. I always wondered, like, dang, why is all these people lined up out here? But I never really paid attention because it was like way down the block, like far, like 3 or 4 blocks. But you can always see all the people out there. But anyway, um, I didn't like do a great job. I did a good job of the light rehab. It was really, really, really light rehab. It didn't need much. Like, I didn't have to do no new flooring. The flooring was decent. I didn't even do the new cabinets. All I did was carpet, uh, carpet, and maybe some small minor repairs in the kitchen, I believe. So, got that thing up and running. I got it rented out, and I've rented it for. Let me see. What was it? I want to say like, dang. I want to say, dang, I forgot how much it was so long ago. Um, I know I was trying to get 1,000, 900 or 1,000, but the beauty in that was I owned it. I purchased it. I had no mortgage on it. I literally owned this place. And you know what? I'm glad that I started this like this because I'm gonna make a whole video about like my journey with the properties and stuff and tell y'all some bonehead stuff that I did and things that I learned or whatever along the way. But that's another story. So I ain't gonna go too much further into that. But yeah, anyway, so remember, this was about, kind of like just acknowledging um people. So I guess I'll try to do that too throughout some of my shows or whatever. Maybe we'll spend a portion of each show just acknowledging someone that helped us along the way. So I started with Jay Rich, and thank you again. Really appreciate it. Um, you know, had a lot of good times and stuff like that along the way, and it 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 was something that I really appreciate, and without that, I can honestly say I probably wouldn't be here today, honestly, because uh, relationships in life, they come into your life for a reason. You know what I mean? So, to be honest, that was one of my that is one of my most treasured relationships because it took me to another level from where I was and what I was looking to do. And I actually found something that I like doing because I've always liked business, but um, that was just something else that was kind of like up my lane. It felt like a hustle, if you will. You know what I mean? As far as why it's buying something for one price, uh, whatever you're doing to it, and then being able to sell it for another price at a different time. I can't wait to my next show so I could tell y'all like some of the stuff that happened that I was doing, some of my like mistakes that I made along the way. But anyway, again, thank you, Jay Rich. Appreciate it. Whatever. Much success to you with your family. But yeah, so uh, we hitting the 30-minute mark. I try to keep these shows like around 30 minutes. The time just flies, man, when you're doing it, and it's like um, the time flies so fast that I guess that's how you know like you kind of passionate about something and something that you like actually doing because you lose track of time when you look up something that you dread doing. You looking at the watch. Time moving slow as a mug, man. Hey, man, hey, you know what I mean? Anyway, it's me, the Rich Realtor. Thank you guys for tuning in. Going kind of like bow out and exit out of this show. I hope you guys learned some things. If there is someone, a loved one in your life uh, that helped you along the way, let them know. Man. You know, let them know. It don't hurt. It doesn't hurt whatsoever. Life is short and it's precious, and we need to really start treating it as such because that's just how it is. Because you know it's short, man. You here one day, you're gone tomorrow. So you make sure that you let your loved ones know and people that just helped you along the way. You acknowledge that because I think a lot of the times, a lot of people go unacknowledged, and maybe you acknowledging them would bring some type of I don't know, whatever it will bring. You know what I mean? It will bring whatever it brings is better than not. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And a little recap of the show. Remember, so just some key points and you know what you should be paying attention to. What I will go back over is I said ARV. Remember, that's after repair value, meaning the value of a home after it's repaired. A home has a value before and it has a value after, right? So remember that. And we'll also go into some other things as I talk. I like doing this because it's educational, it's fun, and it's not just like strictly X's and O's. I go into stories about things that I've experienced in my life, and it it can only help you. It can only further your education, and also we have some fun while we're doing it. Got the show intro, you know, getting you up and ready, and things like that. What else that we talked about? Owner financing, and seller financing, same thing pretty much. And that is a financing that's financing without a bank. You're financed by the owner of the home, not a bank, no third party, because usually it's you, a bank, and then the home seller. With seller financing or owner financing, it's only you and the owner of the home. He'll be selling you the home and financing you the home uh, at, let's not say a discounted rate, but just whatever terms you guys agree upon and without a bank. And I gave you the terms that we had. I think for our building, when we dealt with the owner, it was like somewhere like around 90,000 total was the cost. We had a $10,000 down payment, and he financed us the house, um, the apartment building. He financed us the apartment building, the rest of the cost, and at whatever percentage we had. It was high, but you know it is what it is. And you have a mortgage. You pay that mortgage up until whatever time and terms that you guys agree upon. Terms are, you know, will always be different, but terms are what you guys agree to get to that final point. So that's that. Um, let's get the show. You know what? I got an intro, and I've been running the intro twice. So you know what I might do? I might let me get a show outro that we're gonna run. But for right now, we're gonna end the show. We're gonna end the show the right way. I hope you guys had fun today. I sure know I did. It's your host, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. Don't call me a realtor without calling me rich. You know the slogan. Yeah. That's right. It's the Rich Realtor Show. The best show in the world. The best real estate show in the world. You're gonna get 100% off facts. 0% fiction. Real life stories. Hey, let's go. It's the Rich Realtor Show. No other show in the world is like this. I'm your host, Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. If you're looking for me, you can find me at KeyshawnRobinson.SamsonProperties.net. Samson is spelled S-A-M-S-O-N. You can find me at Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. All at the Rich Realtor. You can Google me, baby. You can Google me, baby. You want to see me, you can Google me. But don't take my word for it. Google me and look at what my clients wrote. Don't take my word for it. Look at what my clients wrote that I helped them get their home from start to finish, from A to Z. Putting them with a preferred lender. Preferred lender is letting them know, hey, this is what you need to pay down to get you approved. They did the work. They do the work. They got their homes. They got their keys. And then they wrote a small message of how I helped them from A to Z. And we can help you too. Again, this is Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. I want to help you too. Let me help you help me. Let me help you. It's Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. It's the Rich Realtor Show, the best realtor in the world. Best real estate show in the world. Best landlord in the world. Best fix and flipper in the world. You may have bought a home from me before. I may have helped you buy a home. Everything's all in the same. Again, it's Keyshawn Robinson, the Rich Realtor. I really have so much fun doing this. I really do. Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And let me get a horn for all of you guys who watch and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share, like, and comment. Give me a horn for the Rich Realtor. And we're going to end the show. It's hard work. It's hard work, man. I mean, I make it look easy, but it's hard. But I thank you guys.